Hey, fourth graders. So today we are going to do a review of triangles. Now remember, we're doing review for all the things that we studied for quarter four before that quarter four test. So we did some review um, on partial product multiplication. Today we're going to focus on what our characteristics of a triangle are. And our I can statement for today is I can classify triangles based on their properties. So we're going to start with the equilateral triangle. And if you can remember this, equal and lateral literally means equal sides. So an equilateral triangle has two important characteristics. One, all the sides are equal. So you can see here that all three A, B, C sides are the same exact length. Now, this isn't something you need to know, but an equilateral triangle also has three angles that are the exact same, and that angle degree is 60 degrees. So an equilateral triangle has all sides equal, and the angle always measures 60 degrees in each of the three corners. An equilateral triangle can be different sizes. As long as all sides are the same length, it is an equilateral triangle. Now, an important thing about an equilateral triangle is that it's also an acute triangle, but not all acute triangles are equilateral. So I'll show you some examples with the acute slides on how a triangle can be acute, but not necessarily equilateral. But if a triangle is equilateral, it's automatically acute. So we're going to go and look at the three other kinds of angles, which are acute, right, and obtuse. So our three triangles, acute, right, and obtuse, have their own set of properties that are really important for you to discern between. So our first triangle that we're going to study is an acute triangle. Now you can see here, this is a triangle that has all angles less than 90 degrees. So you look here at this triangle. This is an example of an acute triangle that's not equilateral. The sides are not all equal, but it is acute because all three angles are acute. So remember when we talked about acute island, obtuse island, right island? Acute triangles live on acute island, and they only get to be there if all three angles are acute. So here we see an example of another acute angle. Here we see one. All of those angles from right here, those are all smaller than a right angle, okay? Then we are going to look at our right angle. Our right triangle. A right triangle is any triangle that has at least one angle that's exactly 90 degrees, that has that perfect L shape. So this has two acute angles. This has two acute angles. This has two acute angles. So what I can tell from this is that a right triangle cannot have any obtuse angles in it in order to be a right triangle. It just has to have this one perfect 90-degree side, and then it gets to be on right triangle island. Finally, we come to obtuse triangles. Now, this is a triangle where just one of its angles needs to be greater than 90 degrees. So you see, right here would be 90. This is greater than 90 degrees. It has two acute, but greater than 90 degrees, just one. It only needs one obtuse angle to go to obtuse island. Now, one thing I can tell from this is that a right triangle can have a right angle and acute angles, but it can never have an obtuse angle. And for obtuse triangles, it can have obtuse angles and acute angles, but it can never have a right angle. So I hope this was a helpful review. I have an activity to go with this, and I want you to do your best on it, and I hope that this is all coming back to you from our lessons in class.